Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? What we're going to be talking about today is social credit score. Yeah. We've all been talking about a product, a place, or a celebrity, only to see eerily similar ads pop up on our phones, our tablets, our computer screens, right? I know it's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. You know, you'll be talking about, oh, I got to go to the store, I got to buy this. And then all of a sudden you're on like a social media app or whatever. And then all of a sudden that ad just pops up for that particular item that you were just talking about going to the store and buying. And you're like, wait a minute. Because I know it's happened to me and I'm like, ew, I don't want to touch that. You know what I mean? Is big tech listening through our phone's microphone or our smart devices? I mean, it's possible. It's a legitimate concern, but perhaps even creepier is that with data mining, big tech might know what you're even thinking about without even listening to you. And that's creepy, but if you don't take steps to browse privately, purchase anonymously, or shield your communications from prying eyes, you're providing big tech and governments a detailed web of your life. Oh, she likes this. Oh, she likes this. Oh, well, that's out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? So log on to your friend's Wi-Fi. Right? Say you go to, your girlfriend's house or whatever, and you log on to her Wi-Fi because your phone doesn't really work great with 5G, so you got to log on to the Wi-Fi. And they may assume that you share similar interests. Why? Because you're on her Wi-Fi instead of your own. Have your location logged near the coast. And you might have seafood or visiting an aquarium on the mind. During the lockdowns, I swear, I spontaneously decided to start making homemade sourdough bread. I normally make Italian bread, but, I was just like, I'll make sourdough bread. I like sourdough bread. I like making my stuffing, my Thanksgiving stuffing out of sourdough bread. Only to realize I was part of a huge trend. I was being served content based on the homesteading and survivalist videos that I watched because if you're watching this video, obviously you watch other survivalist or, homesteading or prepper videos, that type of thing, right? So this is bad enough when it is mostly used by marketers. But what happens when the government starts using it against you or against us, against anybody? I'm sure you've heard of the social credit system, right? China's using it. It's like the next big thing. Everybody wants in on it. Oh my God. It's like a credit score, but it's for everything that you do. Did you buy too much red meat? Points off. But did you consume Communist Party propaganda? Points more. Okay. It's all tracked. It's crunched. It's spat out a score that can seriously affect your life. Good score, life's a breeze, man. Woo! Bad score, say goodbye to traveling on planes, trains, fast internet, even good decent jobs. Bye. You're going to be living in a tunnel. Yeah. China has already installed locked gates in some city neighborhoods where you can only leave if you keep your score up. Anyone who has heard of 15-minute cities, hello, we've talked about this how many times, knows organizations like the WEF has plans to implement this globally. And the scores are all about data mining. Every purchase that you make, every post that you like, okay? Even if it's your niece who's a teenager and oh, I love the prom dress. Oh my God, it's so pretty. You look great in that. If they don't like it, you're not supposed to like it. Deduct points. Okay? Every site you visit, the friends and family you associate with. It's all data and it's all fair game. We're starting to see the early signs of a similar system in the West in general, and particularly right here in the US. In 2021, PayPal, remember what they pulled? They partnered with Anti-Defamation League to investigate extremists, and they were funding on its platform, but they didn't clearly define extremist content. Of course, social media companies think saying there are two genders is, extremist content, or questioning the security of an election, or how safe and effective these are and whatnot, and oh my God, okay, remember all that? Well, PayPal shares this information with the financial industry. Yeah, because it's their job. And law enforcement, policymakers, enabling them to blacklist individuals or groups deemed as extremists. Now, it would be just as easy to blacklist those who don't sufficiently submit to the sea change agenda, giving up meat and travel for the greater good. Don't you realize it's all for the greater good? How dare you? In 2021, Wells Fargo, they closed you know how we were just talking about Chase? Wells Fargo closed accounts on 2 conservative activists without explanation. Shame on you. Know your name. What's wrong with you? Have an opinion of your own. JP Morgan Chase. They're doing it. Okay? Gab, an alternative social media platform, had its accounts banned by 4 banks within a month due to alleged extremist content. Don't forget, in early 2022, the protests against the mandates, known as the Freedom Convoy, took place in Ottawa, Canada. The protests, which started with the truck drivers, grew into a larger movement, was met with severe backlash from the media, from the government. And then GoFundMe, they terminated the movement's funding and initially planned to redistribute the donations to other charities. But after public outcry, they refunded the donations. So the Canadian government, they responded by freezing the financial accounts of over 200 protesters and the donors without due process or charges. Now, most recently, a UK politician who championed Brexit, Nigel Farage, okay, I think I said his last name right, but it's Farage. He had his accounts at NatWest Private Bank, okay, closed. Political reasons. These are all just early warning signs of Western versions of the social credit system. But this threat is not actually that difficult to protect yourself from. You can opt out. You can opt out of this system by cutting off the flow of information that you allow them to collect from you. Now, this feels overwhelming to most people, and I know, I get it, but it's actually really simple. For example, if all of your online accounts connect back to the same Gmail account, Google knows everything you are doing online. The government can easily subpoena that. Hackers have a central vulnerability to exploit. Instead, services from ProtonMail, for example, they allow you to use an email alias. So none of your accounts have your real contact information. And this is one way to compartmentalize. So your Netflix, and then your bank accounts, and your government accounts, and your credit cards, and social media, they're not all linked back to the same nexus. So this prevents the pooling of all your information. There are also ways to make sure that you're not identified through your IP address or tracked across browser tabs. But there is so much more to think about when it comes to online privacy, anonymity, that you don't want any vulnerability to slip through the cracks, open the door, bad actors, including the government. It helps immensely to have a blueprint to follow. You always know what step to take next. You're 3 steps ahead. You know what I mean? This way, you can spend a few minutes every day securing your online identity, and before you know it, your personal information is locked away. I do it. You know? Have to. Got to protect yourself. My identity's been stolen so many damn times. I learned my lesson, you know? So, you just got to do what you got to do in order to protect yourself. You really do nowadays, because it's scary out there, especially online. Because I'll tell you, if you haven't already started to, you know, protect yourself, protect your identity and stuff like that, I would seriously do it now. It's critical that you take steps now before they implement this system, because otherwise it's going to be too late. And I seriously believe that it's going to be too late. You know, if, you know, I don't have a Proton mail. I want to get one. I really do, because I'm so active online. I really, truly am. But only when it comes to my channel. But I also do a lot of shopping. I pay all my bills online, things like that. You know, my banking, everything's on everything, and it's so sad. But it's because I'm such a repetitious person. You know what I mean? Gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta do this, gotta do that, and I'm all day. You know, and it's like I literally have carpal tunnel of the brain, because I'm such. It's like repetitious movement. I just do it, and I don't stop. So, you know, and I have learned my lesson after my identity was stolen the last time. VPN out the wazoo, pay a lot of money for it. I don't care, because I'm protected. You know what I'm saying? But do the steps that you got to do in order to protect yourself, because otherwise, man, you're going to be hurting. I'm not kidding. I'm really not kidding. All right, guys, listen, I'm out of here. All right, I will see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping, and as always, fear less. Ciao.